When was the last time you ate sardines? Most people say rarely or never, but here's the truth. These tiny fish are one of the most powerful superfoods you're overlooking. Packed with protein, omega-3 salt, calcium, and essential vitamins, sardines can fuel your body like few other foods. The problem? Most people ruin them without even realizing it by choosing the wrong kind, storing them poorly, rinsing away nutrients, or even tossing out the healthiest part. In today's video, we'll uncover the biggest mistakes people make with sardines, why they matter, and how to avoid them. Stick around until the end. I'll also reveal who should be careful when eating sardines. Mistake number 11. Overcooking them into mush. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. Sardines are already cooked before they even make it to the store. That means you don't actually need to cook them again. But what happens? People throw them in a hot pan, boil them, or fry them until they fall apart into mush. And that's a shame, because sardines are naturally delicate. Their soft texture is one of the reasons you can eat them whole, bones and all. But when you apply high heat for too long, their structure collapses. What you end up with is a paste-like mess that's not enjoyable to eat. Even worse, overcooking damages heat-sensitive nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids and certain B vitamins. In other words, you're losing the very nutrition that makes sardines special. So what should you do instead? Think gentle. If you're adding them to pasta, rice, or stir-fry, wait until the very end to toss them in. A quick minute or two is all it takes to warm them without breaking them apart. Want a little extra crispiness? Slide them under the broiler for 2 to 3 minutes. That way you'll get a golden exterior while keeping the inside moist and flavorful. Another neat trick: warm the unopened can in a bowl of hot water for a few minutes. This heats the sardines evenly without direct heat, preserving their texture and nutrients. Remember this: sardines are ready to eat straight out of the can. Any cooking you do should enhance them, not destroy them. Handle them gently, and you'll be amazed at how much better they taste. Mistake number 10. Removing the bones. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes: pulling out the little bones. It seems logical, right? With bigger fish, bones are sharp and dangerous, but sardines are different. Their bones are soft, safe, and completely edible. Why? Because during the canning process, sardines are pressure cooked until those tiny bones become tender enough to chew without even noticing. And here's the kicker: those bones are nutritional gold. Just one serving of sardines with bones provides more than a third of your daily calcium needs. Add in the vitamin D they also contain, and you've got the ultimate duo for strong bones and healthy teeth. This is especially important as we age, when bone health becomes a top priority. By removing the bones, you're not just creating extra work for yourself, you're literally throwing away valuable nutrients. And here's the thing: you barely even notice them. They blend right into the flesh of the fish. Yes, some companies sell boneless sardines, but they usually cost more and often look worse because the deboning process breaks the fish into pieces. So you end up paying more money for less nutrition and a less appealing product. The fix: keep the bones. Think of them as a hidden bonus that makes sardines one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can buy. Mistake number 9. Choosing water-packed over oil-packed. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes people make before they even open the can: choosing sardines packed in water instead of oil. At first glance, water-packed might seem like the healthier option. Fewer calories, lighter texture. But here's the truth: sardines in water often lose out on both flavor and nutrition. Sardines are naturally rich in healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids. These fats are fat-soluble, which means your body absorbs them better when they're eaten with other fats. When sardines are packed in oil, especially high-quality olive oil, they not only stay moist and flavorful, but the oil also helps your body make the most of their omega-3 content. Water, on the other hand, doesn't preserve or protect anything. In fact, sardines in water often taste bland, dry, or even metallic as time goes by. That's because water doesn't prevent oxidation, and over time, the fish oils can go rancid. Oil, on the other hand, acts like a shield, slowing down that breakdown. Yes, sardines in oil have more calories, but they're the right kind of calories. Healthy fats that support your heart and brain. And here's a bonus: sardines stored in olive oil often develop even deeper, more complex flavors over time. So if you want the best taste and the most nutrition, skip the water-packed cans and go for sardines in good quality oil. Mistake number 8. leaving opened cans too long here. S1 mistake almost everyone has made at least once: leaving opened sardines sitting in the can for too long. When sealed, sardines have an impressive shelf life, but the second you pop the lid, the clock starts ticking. Once exposed to air, sardines begin to deteriorate. The delicate oils inside start to oxidize, which not only changes the flavor, but also destroys valuable omega-3 fatty acids. How long they last depends on how they're packed. Sardines in water, usually less than 24 hours. Sardines in oil, maybe 2 to 3 days in the fridge. Tomato sauce gives you a little more, up to 4 days, but after a week, no matter what type, they're spoiled and unsafe to eat. And here's another mistake: leaving them in the original can. Once opened, tiny reactions between the exposed metal and the air can actually speed up spoilage and give the fish a metallic aftertaste. The right move: transfer them into a clean, airtight glass or plastic container as soon as you open the can. This keeps the air out, protects the nutrients, and prevents that unpleasant taste. Yes, you could freeze sardines, but freezing changes their texture, often making them softer. So your best option is simple: only open what you're going to eat within a couple of days, and always store leftovers properly. Mistake number 7: ignoring expiration and storage rules. Last one for this part: forgetting that sardines do have limits. A lot of people assume canned food lasts forever, but that's not true. When sealed and stored correctly, sardines can last years. But heat, light, and humidity are their enemies. If you keep them in a sunny window, near the stove, or in a damp pantry, you're speeding up the breakdown of both the can and the fish inside. The oils oxidize, the flavor turns sour, and the nutrients start disappearing. And here's something important: not all sardines age the same. Those packed in tomato sauce or other acidic liquids break down faster than sardines in oil. That means you need to rotate your stock. Use the acidic ones sooner. Save the oil-packed tins for longer storage. Also, check your cans. If you see bulging rust, dents near the seams, or leaks, throw them away. Don't risk it. Think of it this way: sardines are one of the most affordable superfoods out there. Don't waste them or risk your health because of poor storage. A little care makes all the difference. Mistake number 6: eating only straight from the can. Let's be honest, sardines are one of the most convenient foods on the planet. You pull the tab, and they're ready to eat. That's part of their charm. But here's the problem: if the only way you ever eat sardines is straight out of the tin, you're selling yourself short. Sure, eating them plain is quick, but it also limits their flavor and makes it easy to get bored. The truth is, sardines are far more versatile than most people realize. Once you start experimenting, you'll see just how many delicious meals they can be part of. Think of sardines as a building block, not just a final product. For example, mash them with a little Greek yogurt, avocado, or olive oil to make a creamy, protein-rich spread for bread or crackers. On toast, you can get creative: add capers, thinly sliced red onion, or fresh tomatoes for a Mediterranean-style snack that tastes gourmet but only takes a few minutes. Sardines also shine in hot dishes. Stir them into pasta sauces right before serving for a boost of umami flavor and extra omega-3 south. Add them to fried rice or stir-fry at the very end, so they stay intact while enriching the dish with protein. Even pizza benefits: sardines pair beautifully with olives, peppers, and fresh herbs. And don't forget breakfast. Fold sardines into scrambled eggs or an omelette for a nutrient-packed start to the day. The benefit isn't just variety, it's nutrition. Pairing sardines with vegetables, grains, or healthy fats helps your body absorb more of their nutrients. For example, eating them with vitamin C-rich foods like tomatoes or bell peppers actually boosts iron absorption. So yes, eating sardines straight from the can is fine now and then, but don't stop there. A little creativity turns sardines into a secret ingredient that can elevate countless meals. Mistake number 5: thinking all sardines taste the same. Here's a common misconception: people assume all sardines taste identical. Pop open any can, and it'll be the same every time, right? Not true at all. Just like wine, cheese, or coffee, sardines vary widely in flavor, texture, and quality depending on where they come from, how they're packed, and even the season they were caught. Take geography, for example. Atlantic sardines taste different from Mediterranean or Pacific varieties because of differences in water temperature, diet, and environment. Cold water sardines, like those from Norway, often have a firmer texture and a cleaner taste. Sardines from warmer waters can be softer and richer. Even the season matters. Sardines caught in spring might be lighter and milder, while those caught later in the year tend to be fattier and more flavorful. Packing medium makes another big difference. Sardines in olive oil, tomato sauce, mustard, or spiced oils all taste unique. Spanish and Portuguese sardines packed in high-quality olive oil are famous for developing deep, complex flavors as they age. Some producers even lightly smoke their sardines, giving them a savory depth that's completely different from a plain water-packed tin. Processing methods vary too. Some brands handle their fish more carefully, resulting in whole, firm sardines. Others are rougher, leading to broken pieces and inconsistent quality. The mistake is writing sardines off after one bad experience. If you didn't like a certain can, it might just be that specific brand, region, or style. Exploring different types can completely change your opinion. Bottom line, sardines aren't a one-size-fits-all food. Once you start sampling different origins and pack styles, you'll realize there's a whole world of flavors waiting inside those little tins. Mistake number 4. Pairing sardines with the wrong flavors. Sardines are bold. Their rich oils and savory umami taste make them a powerful ingredient, but that also means they need the right partners on the plate. Pair them with the wrong flavors, and the whole dish feels off. Here's the key: sardines need contrast. Their richness is best balanced by fresh, bright, or acidic ingredients that cut through the oiliness. Think lemon juice, vinegar, tomatoes, capers, or pickled vegetables. These flavors don't hide the sardines, they sharpen them, creating balance. Fresh herbs like parsley, cilantro, or dill also work wonders, adding lightness and freshness. Now, what should you avoid? Heavy creamy sauces, buttery dishes, or overly sweet pairings. Creamy flavors piled on top of oily sardines often become overwhelming. Sweet sauces or fruit glazes usually clash with sardines' natural saltiness, creating an unpleasant contrast. Let's compare. Sardines on toast with lemon and parsley taste clean, balanced, and satisfying. But sardines drowned in a heavy cheese sauce, the richness doubles up and makes it difficult to enjoy. This doesn't mean you can't experiment, but the balance has to be right. With the right flavor partners, sardines transform from just fish in a can into a gourmet ingredient that feels vibrant and fresh. Mistake number 3. Rinsing away taste and nutrition. This one might surprise you, because a lot of people think rinsing sardines underwater makes them healthier. They believe it washes away excess salt, fat, or fishiness. But in reality, rinsing is one of the worst things you can do. Here's why. The liquid sardines are packed in, whether it's oil, brine, or saucisson, just filler. Over time, the fish and the liquid exchange flavors. Nutrients like omega-3 salt and fat-soluble vitamins seep into the liquid. When you rinse sardines, you wash away flavor and nutrition. With oil-packed sardines, it gets even worse. Oil and water don't mix, so rinsing leaves you with slippery, broken fish that taste bland. The same goes for tomato or mustard-packed varieties. Rinsing strips away the tang and richness that were designed to complement the fish. And let's clear up the sodium myth. Sardines do contain salt, but rinsing doesn't remove much of it. That's because most of the sodium is already infused into the flesh during canning. A better solution is to buy low-sodium varieties if you're concerned, or simply adjust the salt in the rest of your meal. Think about it. Sardines spend months developing flavor and nutrition inside the can. By rinsing them, you undo all that in seconds. Instead, embrace the brine, oil, or sauce. That's part of what makes sardines so special. Mistake number 2. Avoiding sardines because of fishiness. One of the top reasons people avoid sardines is because they think the taste is too fishy. But here's the truth. Sardines are fish, and they're supposed to taste like fish. The real problem isn't the sardines, but how they're prepared and paired. Good sardines should taste clean, savory, and slightly briny like the ocean. If yours taste overly strong or unpleasant, it's often because they weren't stored properly, they're past their prime, or you're not balancing their flavors correctly. The fix: acidic ingredients. A squeeze of fresh lemon, a splash of vinegar, or a spoonful of tomato sauce can instantly brighten the flavor. Fresh herbs like dill or parsley also lift the taste, making sardines feel lighter and fresher. Quality matters too. Sardines packed in high-quality olive oil or tomato sauce generally taste much cleaner than cheaper options. And here's something fascinating. Your taste buds can adapt. If you rarely eat fish, sardines may taste strong at first, but over time, your palate adjusts, and you begin to notice their subtle sweetness and savory depth. So don't write sardines off as too fishy. Try pairing them with fresh salads, citrus, or crunchy vegetables. You might be surprised at how quickly that strong taste becomes something you actually crave. Mistake number 1. Throwing away the precious oil. And finally, the number 1 mistake people make, draining the oil and pouring it down the sink. That golden liquid isn't waste, it's packed with flavor and nutrients. Here's what happens. When sardines are canned in oil, there's a slow exchange over time. The fish release some of their natural juices into the oil, while the oil infuses back into the fish. After months of storage, that oil becomes rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins like D and E, and concentrated flavor. When you toss it out, you're wasting nutrition and flavor. So what should you do with it? Use it. Drizzle it over a salad instead of bottled dressing. Use it to garlic and onions for pasta or rice. Stir it into soups for a richer base. Or keep it simple, dip fresh bread into it with lemon and herbs for a quick appetizer. Here's a bonus tip: if you store sardine oil properly in the fridge for a few days, the flavor actually deepens, adding even more complexity to your meals. Think of it, this sardine oil is liquid gold. It's free with every can, it's loaded with nutrients, and it adds instant flavor. Don't waste it. That covers the top mistakes people make with sardines. But before you rush to stock up, there's something important you need to know. Sardines are incredibly healthy, but they're not right for everyone. In the next part, we'll cover exactly who should be careful when eating sardines and how to enjoy them safely without missing out on their benefits. Who should be careful with sardines? Now that we've gone through the mistakes to avoid, let's talk about something equally important: safety. Sardines are one of the healthiest foods you can eat, but just like any powerful food, they're not perfect for everyone. Here are the groups of people who should approach sardines with caution. 1. People with gout or high uric acid. This is the number 1 concern. Sardines are naturally high in purines. 3. People with high blood pressure or salt sensitivity. Here's another hidden issue: sodium. Canned sardines are typically preserved in brine or oil, and both methods involve salt. Even low-sodium varieties often have more salt than fresh fish. For someone with normal blood pressure, this isn't usually a big deal, but if you're salt-sensitive or have hypertension, eating sardines every day without adjusting your overall salt intake can quickly add up. To reduce the risk, look for low-sodium sardines. Pair them with fresh vegetables, and cut back on added salt in the rest of your meals. And remember, rinsing sardines doesn't really solve the problem, since most of the sodium is inside the flesh. Choosing the right product from the start is the smarter move. 4. People on blood-thinning medications. Sardines are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which naturally thin the blood. For most people, this is a good thing. It supports heart health and reduces the risk of clotting. But if you're already taking prescription blood thinners like warfarin, combining them with high doses of omega-3 salt could increase your risk of bleeding. This doesn't mean you can eat sardines, it just means you should let your doctor know how often you're re-eating them, so your medication can be adjusted if needed. 5. People with seafood allergies. This one might sound obvious, but it's worth mentioning. If you have a known allergy to fish, sardines are not a safe option. Sometimes people with shellfish allergies wonder if they can eat sardines, since they're not shellfish. The answer is, it depends. Fish allergies and shellfish allergies are different, but if you've ever had a reaction to seafood, it's best to consult an allergist before trying sardines. How to enjoy sardines safely. Now that we've covered the groups who need to be cautious, let's shift gears. For most people, sardines are an incredibly safe, nutritious food. But like anything, the key is how you eat them. Here are some practical tips to make sardines a healthy part of your diet. 1. Watch your portion sizes. A typical can of sardines contains around 20 grams of protein, plenty of omega-3 salt, and a good amount of calcium. That's great, but it also means you need to eat multiple cans a day to get the benefits. For most people, 2 to 3 servings per week is plenty. That's enough to support heart health, boost brain function, and provide essential nutrients without going overboard. 2. Balance them with fresh foods. Sardines are nutrient-dense, but they're also rich and salty. To get the most out of them, pair them with fresh, light ingredients that balance their intensity. Some great combos include sardines plus leafy greens plus lemon equals refreshing. Mineral-rich salad sardines plus whole grain bread plus tomatoes equals balanced. Heart-healthy meal sardines plus roasted vegetables plus herbs equals colorful. Filling dinner by combining sardines with vegetables, grains, and herbs. You not only improve the taste, you also create meals that are more balanced and easier on your body. 3. Rotate your protein sources. Even though sardines are one of the best fish choices when it comes to sustainability and low mercury content, variety is still important. Mix up your week with other proteins: chicken, beans, lentils, salmon, eggs, so you're not relying on sardines alone. This helps you avoid overloading on any one nutrient, like purines or sodium, while still reaping the benefits of a varied diet. 4. Pay attention to the packaging. Not all sardine cans are created equal. The quality of the fish, the oil, and the can lining itself can make a difference. Whenever possible, choose sardines packed in extra virgin olive oil instead of cheap seed oils. BPA-free cans to avoid potential chemical exposure. Wild-caught sardines for sustainability and better nutrient profiles. Yes, these options may cost a little more, but when you're eating something as often as sardines, the quality is worth it. 5. Listen to your body. Finally, and this is the most important rule, pay attention to how your body responds. Do sardines make you feel energized and satisfied, or do you feel bloated and sluggish after eating them? Do your joints flare up if you eat them too often? Do you notice any digestive changes? Your body gives you feedback every time you eat. The smartest way to enjoy sardines or any food is to listen to those signals and adjust accordingly. Sardines really are one of the most underrated superfoods. They're packed with protein, omega-3s, south, calcium, vitamin D, and B vitamins. They're affordable, shelf-stable, and sustainable. But like any good thing, they need to be enjoyed the right way. Avoid the common mistakes we've talked about. Don't overcook them. Don't rinse away the flavor, and definitely don't throw out the oil. Explore different varieties, pair them with fresh, vibrant ingredients, and most importantly, know your own health limits. If you've got gout, kidney disease, or certain medical conditions, sardines might not be the best choice for you, or at least not every day. But for most people, a few cans of high-quality sardines each week can be one of the simplest, cheapest, and healthiest upgrades you can make to your diet. So the next time you see that little tin on the shelf, remember inside is one of the most nutrient-packed foods in the world. Treat it with the respect it deserves, and your body will thank you.